I don't know if you're wrong or not. I just wanted to clarify.
But who are they?
Just one person on the Xfinity mobile text line.
Then he could have really got hurt. It was presented to me like he pulled up on a open gym run in Sacramento, and somebody on the text line was saying the guy it's a trainer that trains all the high-end athletes in Sac. But if you look at the videos, Donnie, they look like it could be you, me, Lucas, and Evan and Spadoni shooting.
All right.
Yeah. I'm 0 for 2 at the jukebox. You asked me to play something. The sound. So anything you want to play, you fire.
Okay, this is what I want to play. I want to get into the Niner stuff. This is Jeremy Fowler, and this is where I need Evan. Here's who he works for, and here's who he was on with.
ESPN.
Yep. And he was on with?
ESPN.
Thank you. Jeremy Fowler.
Brandon Aiyuk's the big one. We know what the wide receiver market is now. It's looking at probably $30 million and above. And Aiyuk's considered a top 10 receiver now at this point by most in the league. Both sides have had negotiations, but it hasn't really graduated to something where it's going to get done and it's intensified. So they got the next 6 weeks over the summer before training camp to try to get it done, or he might not show up based on him not showing up to minicamp as a precedent.
All right. So that was Jeremy Fowler from ESPN. Five players, and there was a report by Michael Silver of the Chronicle that he turned down $26 million a year, but that was the average annual salary.
Okay,
but we don't know anything about what the guarantee might have been or might not have been.
But what we do know, can I assume that wasn't enough to entice him to put his John Hancock on the 26?
If the report's true, then clearly. My question is, I saw a number that 5 receivers now, their average annual salary is $30 million.
Wow.
But again, the guarantees are different.
And 2 more are about to sign sometime here soon, CeeDee Lamb and Jamar Chase.
Okay.
You got to assume they're going to get a big bag. Not Justin Jefferson, it could be. That'll make it 26 look that much smaller.
So Amon-Ra St. Brown has $77 million guaranteed. Justin Jefferson has over $100 million guaranteed. So where does he fit?
For 26, it looks like for the Niners when you talk about annually, Steiny. So again,
you think he's worth 30 though?
No, I understand the Niners saying we don't use you we know you got the skills, but the way that we run our offense, it's 23 first. It's Christian McCaffrey. So I can't see the Niners paying Brandon Aiyuk, Justin Jefferson, or top-tier receiver type money when they don't use them that way.
Here's the other thing, and I'll play the sound, but so McCaffrey doesn't say anything, at least publicly. He gets his deal done.
Right.
And I'll play the sound, but according to Fowler, Trent Williams is now making noise about wanting to do his contract. Boy. And then Kittle's coming up down the line. Two questions I have for you is, one is, when are you going to get worried about Aiyuk? And then 2 is it fair to say, look, Aiyuk is not a high priority for the San Francisco 49ers. We may hate to see it, we may hate to say it, but their actions are speaking louder than words. He's not their number one priority right now. Right now, he's not their number one priority.
No doubt about it. I feel like you read my notepad. And the other part of that to me, Steiny, is the fact that, again, I'm not Peter King. The fact that you invested your first-round pick, and I believe a lot of people were shocked. And Ricky Pearsall, read the room, Steiny.
Yeah.
We've been around a couple corners. That's telling me something, that they value Aiyuk, but you are not a priority. Because if it were love, Steiny, this thing would already be done. And the one thing, Evan and the boss and I talked about this last week, and this is where I have no rebuttal. Hey, Debo and Bosa didn't get done until later in the months, later in the summer. Okay, that does mean something, but this is different. Then you talk about Aiyuk going on IG with the I shouldn't share my chicken. Well, you already shared, and I told Evan this. From a Brandon Aiyuk perspective, do you feel like he thinks, oh, my God, he's telling his brother or girlfriend, damn, McCaffrey just cut line. And now if this Trent Williams thing is true, if you're Kyle and John, who would you take care of first if Trent Williams even dared to say he wants some more money or a new contract? He's going to get it.
Well, I'm in the minority about Trent Williams. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I think he's
still top tier, Steiny.
Well, supposedly.
Be careful.
I don't think he had a great year.
But you have no other option.
No, but
and you're trying to get back to the Super Bowl.
How many games is he going to play this year, Trent Williams?
Let's just say as many as he played last year. It was enough.
Listen, I'm not saying he's not one of the best, but
But give me this. He would rattle their cages if he said he needed a new deal. They wouldn't F around with him.
I don't look at McCaffrey as saying, I don't look at McCaffrey cutting in line. I look at the 49ers probably know. You think they don't know Kittle wants something down the line? You don't think they knew McCaffrey was going to do something? We might not have.
We touched on that yesterday.
I mean, the bottom line is,
you saw this coming.
I didn't see it coming.
But
I think
maybe
the 49ers,
they did.
Yes. Right.
So Aiyuk could just be the odd man out. His contract came up at the most inopportune time.
Whose?
Aiyuk.
No, it didn't. It's just that he's not a priority. I mean, what more do you need to see? Christian McCaffrey just got a contract extension that nobody even saw coming.
Yeah.
Why?
Evan told me in the break room Thursday or Wednesday, and I felt like 2 hours later he had the new deal. It happened that fast. I get it.
I mean, if you're asking me, do I think the 49ers have prioritized McCaffrey and possibly Trent Williams instead of Brandon Aiyuk? Yes, of course. Absolutely. I think absolutely they have. And I think any fan would get that. Hey, 49er, who you prioritize, McCaffrey or Aiyuk? How many people are going to say Aiyuk?
Yeah.
You can't say
that's
Aiyuk.
Where he loses. I get it.
Unfortunately for Aiyuk, wide receiver is not the most important position for the Niners.
But for Aiyuk, he's watching his position and guys that he deems he's that caliber getting paid left and right like a boom. And man, Steiny and Evan and I were discussing if they were to trade him, the team that would trade for him could possibly get him closer to 30 or that number that would work for him.
I actually I feel like I understand why the 49ers have to be careful with Aiyuk. And you might not think there's a big difference between 30 and 24 or whatever it is.
Oh, Steiny, I do.
Well, yeah. That's what I was going to say. You might not think not you, but people might not think there's a big difference, but there is. And, I mean, they're saying what they're saying. They're saying what they're saying. And what they said was the minute, we knew, didn't we talk all season long about Aiyuk and his new deal? What do you think it's going to be worth? You got to pay him. You got to pay him. You got to pay him. And then we've talked about that for 6 months. And then Christian McCaffrey apparently says to the Niners, well, I want a new deal. And we don't even know that Christian McCaffrey said, I want a new deal too.
Well, his guaranteed money had ran out.
Exactly. And who'd the 49ers take care of in 3 days?
Yeah, well,
they took care of him. I mean, they probably didn't.
It was fast, Donnie.
But I'm sure the 49ers knew that McCaffrey was going to do this way sooner than we thought they would.
All right.
And so, guess what? Don't pit players against each other. Sorry, you got to pit players against each other when you know damn well that you've got to cut money, you've got to cut payroll. And maybe it is that simple. It's not that hard. McCaffrey or Aiyuk?
Yeah.
McCaffrey. Yeah.
Trent Williams.
Let's just move on. Yeah.
Well,
I don't think, I still think they're going to get something done with Aiyuk, but I think we're headed toward the same kind of situation as Bosa.
Well, Bosa was different because the Niners knew it was about, I told Evan,
or Debo
it was about it, even Debo, because that was pre-McCaffrey. Everything he had done, Steiny, in that playoff run the year before, he was your offense. And we were talking about Debo like maybe he wanted a decrease in workload because it was Debo left, right, everywhere. This is different, Steiny. And I'm asking you, because I asked Evan, okay, we get news that Brandon Aiyuk is no longer a Niner.
Well, how
does that change your view on what are they not a Super Bowl contender?
No, not necessarily. It doesn't change my view.
So we talk about windows all the time, and this is what I mean. Because we thought one of the two, Debo, I did, or Aiyuk were going to get traded, and there was some scuttlebutt at the draft. I just can't get over that, just watching that, and it didn't manifest. So now I'm sitting here thinking the Niners, we're talking about windows. We never know when they open or close. They close faster than you think. They got a first-round pick. They got holes in other places or priorities I feel like they could have drafted, but the company line was, you know what, Goo? Nobody was worthy in those other positions to be drafted that high or in the first round, so we get Ricky Pearsall. Normally, Steiny, a rookie wide receiver, not named Randy Moss or guys like that, Justin Jefferson, they're going to be a red shirt. You don't expect much from them, right? It's going to be growing pains. But now, all of a sudden, we're here with this stalemate with Brandon Aiyuk, and I'm like, the Niners are talking without talking to me like, hey, we like you, we don't love you. And if you dip, we think this dude can do what you did in our offense.
How could you not look at it like that?
All right.
How could you not? Now, again,
I hope he's here, man.
If you're asking me whether Aiyuk is going to be a Niner this year, I still think he will be a Niner. But next year's team is going to lose somebody. There's no way they can keep all these guys. So I got to believe what the Niners are doing is they're just they want to try to hold this thing together for one more year. And then they know at the end of next year or this upcoming year that they're going to have to make some pretty tough decisions. And I think what they're deciding right now is whether, what the hell, if Aiyuk is being this tough and we foresee a problem, well, let's start making the moves right now. I'm not saying that's